Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Welcome to another episode of Monogamous Crush. I'm Derek Tucker.
And I'm Shalice Tucker.
And this is our podcast where the formula is we cuss a little,
fuss a lot,
but ultimately we love hard.
And it's all about the one.
It's all about the one. You know, the one that's what makes everything go around.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
As you can see, we kind of switched up our set today. We actually at the bar together, you know, enjoying the little cocktails and stuff like that.
How we
It's
do.
a nice, lovely afternoon, everything. The weather's nice outside and everything.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to start this episode off as we're going to call it Bar Talk. Bar Talk, talk about topics that couples should be discussing amongst themselves just to increase their intimacy, their love for one another, and the dialogue that you have as a couple.
Yeah, and just we've got these topics because it's the conversations that we've had while we're just out at the bar or at a party with friends, and it just starts getting deep, right? As couples, we start talking about all these things, or hopefully it doesn't turn into arguments, but normally it's just discussion.
That's
so
right.
This is bar talk, all up in your business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, you know, we were just thinking of what topics would make people, you know, give them a little bit dialogue amongst themselves and maybe even bring them closer together, because it may be something that you weren't aware of that, you know, has never been discussed, that needed to be discussed.
Yeah.
And, you know, even after years of being together, sometimes certain things haven't been touched on.
And it could be different. Some topics you get a different response based on male to female.
True.
Not that every female is the same and not that every male is the same, but they're kind of gender specific sometimes.
Yeah.
And you also get different topics based on couple to couples, right? So what works for your couple, your coupling, your monogamous crush may not work for another person's monogamous crush. Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll discuss some of it is from our perspective.
I guess our perspective, because that's what I was going to ask you. When you said couple to couple, I was going to say, what exactly did you mean by that? But I got you. You mean our topics and what we discuss may not be the same for other people, but then some of them may be. Because when you're living together and you're in a relationship and everything, some things are kind of routine.
Yeah.
We deal with some of the same things.
And it's based upon, like I said, what works for you.
True.
So this is not something that we're saying, you got to do this, but just from our experience and experiencing these conversations with other people, we're just going to get into it. We're just going to start talking about it. So let's see, what's our first topic we'd like to talk about?
If we wanted to, I mean, did you want to start with maybe finances? Is finances something we can
right
talk
into
about?
It. Ooh.
I mean, we can get into that and talk a little because, you know, in this day and age, it's kind of like the year of the woman. You got women that are kind of really increased up in the workforce and they're really bringing home that bread.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's been it's been that for a long time, but thank you, baby, for recognizing that. It is. We're actually filming this during between Women's History Month. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So we just want to give that ode to women's history and make sure that, you know, we talk a little bit about that and finances. So we won't get into the political portion of men being paid differently than women and things like that.
Right.
We'll keep it within a couple's situation.
Right. We want to talk about possibly, you know, when it comes to, you know, sometimes you go through stages as a family. Sometimes your employment changes. Sometimes you out of work. Sometimes you one is working, both are working.
Yeah.
You may get a promotion where now you're the breadwinner.
Yeah.
I may get a promotion and I'm the breadwinner.
Right.
How do we just go along and do we
get along
get along in a situation where one might be making more than the other?
Right, because emotions come into play. I mean, we've gone through this throughout our lives where it's not a race. We don't race through it. It's not a competition. It's all for the greater good of our monogamous crush, right?
That's right.
So sometimes I may be up in it. Sometimes you're up in it.
Yes.
And as long as you bringing that dough home, I'm good with it.
That's right. Yep. And you know, and the thing about it is, if we in a situation where I'm broke then we broke.
You never broke.
You know never what I'm saying?
Broke it. Right.
We never broke. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, if I got a dime, then you got a dime.
Well,
not even a nickel. You got a dime.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. So we keep it together. We, I hear on the radio sometimes they discuss separate bank accounts and stuff like that.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Because I have a lot of friends, and I've sat around at different women's groups and things like that, and we're just talking. So I'm gonna try to give the female's perspective to it and things that I've heard. Okay. So I've heard women say, oh, this bill is due, or I have to call him to see if he'll pay for my phone bill. And okay, we still in a no judgment zone, but I'm about to get a little judgy.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
You have to call your
husband
or significant other,
right,
and say, hey, I need help paying my cell phone bill.
That's right.
I need help paying the light bill that we both flick on the switch for.
Exactly.
So it's, again, we gonna disclaimer. Right. It's not the way we do things.
That's right. And that's kind of where I was going when I said about broke. Because, like you said, we ain't never broke.
Right.
Anyway, I digress.
Right.
But my point is, we in this together.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you got it, I got it. But you ain't got to check with me to pay a bill.
Let me play devil's advocate in that. Those folks still feel like they in it together, but they do their finances separately. So you've also heard women say, oh, I keep my money separate because when he buys me flowers, it's like I'm buying me flowers. What do you say? As a guy, what does that sound like to you? If you've ever heard me, you will never hear me say that.
Right.
But what does that sound like to you if a woman says that?
To me, it's all about, it doesn't matter who paid for the flowers. It's about the thought that I had the idea to bring you flowers.
Right.
Especially if it's just out of the blue, it's not a holiday or no special occasion. If I just thought it and brought it amongst myself to go to the store and had the thought to just come and get you a bouquet of flowers and do something nice for you.
Right.
It doesn't matter where to find how I got it. I had the thought to bring it for you.
Yeah. And especially if we're all working and contributing, how do you split a penny? You know what I'm saying? How do you take the sweet out of sugar? It's all commingling. When you decide to commingle, then that's what you're doing. You're commingling.
That's right.
And statistics will say that finances are the main thing that couples argue about.
True enough. So, and one of the leading causes of divorce.
Yeah. So let me drop a pearl real quick for the couples that's up and coming. Find this out early. Figure out how you're going to handle finances when you're all in that lovey-dovey stage, because this could be the difference, the make or break point is money. Yeah. And it makes no sense, although it makes total sense. It could be the biggest thing in your relationship. Every couple has something that they fight over. It's a loop, right?
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, it probably could be finances. That's not our situation. Thank goodness. We figured out early on, I guess too, because we came to this relationship young, dumb, and broke.
Right. Yeah.
So we built together.
That's right.
So I guess it's easier for us to say, hey, don't commingle. Now, there are people who are established when they come to each other. Right. But I still say that pearl still sits, and pearls are people expect to achieve real love and substance.
Correct.
And the substance in this topic is get the hard stuff out of the way early.
Yes.
So you're not fussing and fighting about it later. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's not to say that you can't have your little piece of change on the side or whatever that you want to dip in.
Money.
Yeah, that if you want to do something special and not be noticed as far as
the bank
where
account
the money's
statement
coming from and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with having a little stash on the side.
No.
Everybody should have that anyway. You know what I mean? Just in case. Rainy day, you come into some hard times or whatever,
you can pull
and you got something.
A rabbit out your hat.
Baby, I got this over here, so we good.
I used to see my mom do that. Like my mom would make a dollar out of 15 cents out of nowhere.
Right.
But it was all for the greater good of the relationship.
Right. Not in hopes of, if she mess up, I got
my money to get up out of here.
It ain't about that. It's about being prepared.
Yeah. And we have children. We talk to them about these type of things too, because they'll be starting new relationships and things like that. And these are the hard topics, but you can't, it's like death, right? Death is going to come. Mm-hmm. You can't act like you're going to, not talking about it is not going to make it happen.
Right.
It's going to stop it from happening. Mm-hmm. So you want to get these tough conversations, and finances will destroy people.
Yes, it will.
And friends, family, whatever your monogamous crush looks like, it can destroy. So I would think get it over, and you got to watch your ego with money, right? Okay. So if we reel it back and talk about male to female and who's bringing in what, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the ego in money.
Okay. Before we go into the ego, I did want to touch on something that you said that's very important, because you did make a great point about introducing your children to finances and the value of money, and making sure they understand about how you get ahead by saving and keeping your money, together, making sure that you got yourself together as far as your children is concerned.
You can't just secure the bag. You need to know how to handle the bag once you got it in your hands. Right. So you're right about that. And when our children were younger, we taught them about, I don't know if people still do checkbooks. I know we still write checks, right? We
That's where I was trying to go with that. I kind of lost my thought there, but I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, we taught them how to balance a checkbook.
That's right.
As they got older and it became something different, we taught them about credit and how to keep your credit in good standing. It is the lay of the land. You got to know how it works.
Yeah, and when they did their little chores, how to just not spend it all at one time. Save a little something. You got a birthday coming up. You got Christmas. Yeah, we got you. But if you see something specific for yourself,
don't burn through
something that you earned that you could say you did this for you.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that more when we talk about our family and how the monogamous crush looks. That's a great topic for family discussion because it's important that our younger folks understand finances. Right. But as far as a couple, I think it's super important because we want to just talk about things, especially today, bar talk, getting all in your business.
Right.
We want to talk about things that get in the way of a real smooth time with your monogamous crush.
Right. So I guess now let me come back to what you were saying about ego.
Yes.
And ego can get in the way, but a man and a woman has to recognize the situation at hand when it occurs.
Right.
We can't let our egos get in the way. We got to be a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
And
we got to work on that.
And dealing with the situation. If that's the situation right then, don't take it out on your significant other.
Yeah.
If you feel in a certain way,
you're talking about
to doing something about it.
Let's be clear. So you're talking about, like, say someone makes more money than you,
right?
And you don't want to take that to your heart.
That's right.
Right. So also the other side is that coin is no pun intended. Other side of that coin is not lording it over someone.
That's
right. You don't use the fact that at this moment in time you may make more money, so now I'm the king or the queen of the castle and you do what I say, because that can change so quickly. Right.
And that's especially if that's not the case. If your partner is not doing that to you, there's no reason for you to feel a certain way if you happen to be on the low side of the bread.
Gotcha. I understand what you're saying. You're saying don't create a problem where there isn't a problem.
That's right.
I agree.
Because that would be definitely wrong for the other significant other to try to say, well, I make all the money, so you go do the dishes. You go do the grocery shopping, fill my car, wash my car.
It kills the
I'm
crush.
out getting all the money.
Yeah, that's a crush killer. That's a crush killer. So I guess that's what we're talking about today. Things to get ahead of so it doesn't kill the good vibes and the crush that you have. So I think we talked about money.
Yeah, we talked about money.
We good on money right now.
We good on money. These are just something that we discuss amongst ourselves that we just thought, sitting here at the bar enjoying a little cocktail
little
we might bring up.
I'll take a sip on that.
But if you want to get a little spicy with it, let's touch on fellas and girls night out.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So hanging out, being in a monogamous crush,
right,
and hanging out with people outside of your monogamous crush. Is that what you're talking about?
Not necessarily outside of your monogamous crush, but you may have single friends. You married.
Okay.
I got single friends. I'm married. But if the fellas want to get together and hang out and do something, my behavior around those single
that's
people,
outside of your monogamous crush. Because if it ain't me, then it's outside of the monogamous crush.
Well, it's not.
What I told you about having friends. You can't have no friends.
You know, well.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Your etiquette when you out. Because, you know,
okay,
your single friends may act and party a different way. But you as a married woman, you may not necessarily be able to cross those bridges and do those things.
You may have married friends who act a certain way.
Exactly.
When they out on their own.
You're absolutely right.
So it's just about how you carry yourself. Now, okay,
right.
So let's get straight.
Right.
Let's be straight. Are you talking about, so I'm going to take it from the female point of view. Are you talking about, I'm out with my friends.
Right.
I'm doing what the girls do. You know, we hang out differently,
That's
right? Girls
right.
hang out differently. We can be on the dance floor dancing just with each other.
Definitely.
We can take a drink from somebody. Nice gentleman send you a drink and it means nothing. But now we're not thirsty anymore. We can, I think, now that, okay, I see your eyes stretching.
I don't know about the accepting drinks.
Well, I mean, but people send things over to a group of ladies, and it's not, to me, if you know how to carry yourself, then it's just a drink sent to a group of ladies.
Because my sentiment on that is, of course, I could feel a certain way about it, but you out with the girls or whatever.
And you know who I am.
Maybe that's something I just don't need to know about that particular night. You know what I mean?
I don't carry that back, but I carry everything back.
And that's the whole situation there. Because ultimately, you are able to be yourself, chill. You should be relaxed and comfortable.
Right.
But it shouldn't come back home.
You don't want to know about it.
You know what I'm saying? That's right. It shouldn't come back home.
But I still would come home and say it, because to me it's not a big deal. It's like if a guy hollers at you in the street, I'm gonna come back and tell you that's not anything on me. That's just what happened.
That's what happened.
I'm not creating the news. I'm just reporting it.
And as a man, I expect that when you got a beautiful young lady or whatever. I've been there. That's how things pop off sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You see somebody that's attractive and you decide that
until you approach and you realize that it's not available for you.
That's right.
No, I get it. So. I get that. So, okay, so we're talking about when ladies go out. I just explained how me and my friends hang out.
Right.
Like we'll dance, we'll have a good time. We go out for the sake of each other.
Right.
Now, I'm going to step on some toes, and I could be totally wrong.
Okay.
I think women tend to think that when men go out, it's a whole extravaganza.
Right.
But it may not be. But that's just how we feel.
And to a certain extent, it is. Ooh. Because we as men, we're happy to enjoy and to fellowship together.
But that ain't what y'all,
you know what I mean?
That ain't y'all ain't on the dance floor dancing together.
No, we're not on the dance floor dancing together. We might dance with another young lady or something like that. Yeah. But ultimately, it's all in good fun.
Yeah.
We're going to leave it right there in the club when it's all said and done.
Right.
We're not going to exchange no numbers. That's the
it's the code.
The married.
It's
the married.
The married.
The people that should. Now, single friends, we're going to big them up. I seen you, boy. Yeah, you did a good thing right there, boy.
Women are like, get out of here. Get out of here. We don't even want to be exposed to it. But I hear you.
Yeah, because I mean, it's definitely up to the individual, like you said, to recognize who you are amongst who you're with.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. And I think that maybe just that difference in the gender is why women are always more anxious when their guys go out. Like, we can go out every day, all day, and come back and be the same. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, sometimes I guess, now I don't have this issue. And I don't know if it's because we 31 years in, 24 married, that my concept is, if you bad enough to take him, then he ain't mine.
Yeah.
But I understand that's not always the concept for everybody.
Right.
But it's also based on how you behave, how I know you are.
That's right.
So there's a security in that for me that I was able to build up.
That's right.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to overstep my boundaries as far as how long I'm out.
Right.
You know, I'm not gonna...
Unspoken rules, ladies. That's another thing.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Couples,
unspoken rules.
Get you some unspoken... I guess you got to speak them first. Right. But then they become commonplace, unspoken rules. Right. We're not breaking night, as the old folks used to say. We're not coming in all kind of hours. We're not exchanging phone numbers.
Right.
I mean, that's stuff that we've established early on.
That's right.
But for our new monogamous crushes, you may... And be clear, because you may be thinking that things are understood, and it's not. So there's nothing wrong with having that kind of conversation.
Have that conversation on the way out the door, or whatever, if necessary.
After this airs, turn to your significant other and say, do we have an understanding?
Right.
And if not, get you one.
Because hopefully your monogamous crush does not need you to answer these questions.
But if
they should be known. But if they do, well, now you know.
It's nothing wrong with clarity. So I would say go get it cleared up and, you know, make sure you understand. So we've talked about hanging out local.
Right. And that's where I was going to. So I guess you want to say, what about trips?
Yeah, let's talk about hanging out
abroad
or whatever.
Or out of the state and that
overnight
kind of stuff
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I guess same rules apply.
Same rules apply for the most part. Because, I mean, what you do in your city, you can do the same thing in another state.
You're absolutely
right.
You just
gotta still just keep your level of respect.
Yeah.
For your significant other. Right. And, you know, I don't want to see no funky old pictures or nothing later or nothing like that. Because sometimes they show. The evidence will come through.
I'm going to take a drink.
But yeah, you know, I feel comfortable with separate trips. At one time I didn't, but I've grown. You know, once your relationship matures and you get to a certain place in your relationship, you do get that security and you're no longer insecure about certain things. And my wife, you going out and to another state or another country with a bunch of friends that for the most part I've known all my life as well, because they're your close friends.
As long as we've been together. Right.
That's not an issue for me.
Oh, I appreciate that. But it's a testament to who I know I need to be when I leave my door.
Right.
So we talk about hours. Let's get messy with it and talk about folks who don't do it right? So they go away and they think it's girls gone wild time or boys gone wild. And I think that's where the issue lies. And I guess it goes right back, like you said, if as soon as you leave your door, it's the same rules, right? It doesn't matter whether you got a plane ticket or you just putting gas in the car going up the street.
That's right.
So it's the same rules. I just think that I know for us, so we've dated since I was 19 and you were 21.
Correct.
And so I was in college and I was hanging out with my girlfriends. We would go all over the place. Right. And that was fun. It was fun. And then we got our thing.
Right.
And it wasn't a necessity for me anymore.
Right.
Not that I don't like going to places with my girlfriends. I wish more of them would ask more. But I think what happens is that I'm locked into my monogamous crush. And they feel like, well, sis is not going to go.
I get that too. And they feel that we always doing something.
Together. Yeah.
Together.
We like the pretty girl who don't get asked to the prom because everybody thinks she already got a date. But so if my friends is out there, you need to still ask me if I want to go. Let me say no, thank you. Damn. So.
That's right.
But along those lines, if I'm experiencing something new and especially romantic and sexy, I don't want to be with a whole bunch of girls.
Right.
I don't want to watch the sunset with my homegirls. I love them to death, but those are things that I want to do with my crush.
Yeah. And like so, going someplace that we haven't been together.
Right, together. You know? Right.
Okay,
it's new, and so I know you and your boys, y'all talk about going out to like Brazil and all this kind of stuff, which I'm like, I got a ticket too, and I'll be in the room next door.
Right.
I'm just joking.
Well,
but I'm saying, it's just
like you said, that's a place we haven't been together yet.
Yeah, but
so
to me,
I wouldn't make that move.
Well, the conversation needs to be had because you've said that before, and I'm like, go. You know what I mean? It's fun.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. That would be the only reason that I wouldn't go there. Would be the fact that I would want to experience a first with you.
Oh, well, that's sweet. That's sweet. And it's a conversation that we would have to have.
Some place like Puerto Rico or something like that we've been already, and the trip comes up, and my friends invite me. Yeah, I'll run it past you and let you know, hey, that's what I want to do if I want to do that.
Right. So, I mean, and that's just it. You want to make sure that you're talking to people and make sure that you're getting your point across.
That's right.
And make sure that there's a full understanding.
Correct.
Right. So, I think this is a good place to drop a pearl.
Okay.
Well, I dropped the pearl, right?
You dropped the pearl.
Should I drop? Do I want more pearl? Is it getting real pearly up in here?
Well, I guess we can just let people know that these topics that we're talking about right now are topics that we have discussed, that we understand are very important when you're in a monogamous crush. Take them to heart and run them past your monogamous crush, and like you said earlier, just have that conversation.
And that understanding.
It's an open dialogue and understanding.
Yeah. And it's never too late to have these kind of conversations, because I know as I grow older, I want to do more stuff with friends, family, and my monogamous crush. Yeah. And I don't want the first time that I'm trying to figure that out is on a trip and I've overstepped my bounds. Right? So that's it.
Right.
There's a pearl. Stay within your bounds.
That's right. So ultimately,
know what your bounds are.
So ultimately, I think the biggest part about the finance situation was don't let your ego get in the way.
That's good.
And as far as hanging out and trips and stuff like that, just respect one another and don't violate your relationship.
And like my mama said, respect yourself.
Respect yourself. Do not violate your relationship.
Right.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Derek Tucker.
Sorry.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Monogamous Crush. This is our podcast. Oh, run it back again. I'm sorry.